It's Gorman in the Morning with Fletcher and Ryder. Now, 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Good morning. I'm here alongside Fletcher.
Here comes the rain again, hopefully.
Wow. Falling in my face like a distant memory. Is that the line? And, of course, Ryder is here.
I would have never thought of that.
Oh, come on. You always would have thought of that. I think I never thought of that. That's two nevers, which means it's a double negative, which makes it a positive.
Correct.
And you bring a positive vibe everywhere you go, Ryder.
Always
Thank you.
two steps ahead.
Oh, man, I love that about you. It is just about, we're climbing up on 6 o'clock. It's right around the corner, but it's never too early for some headlines. I'm feeling Minnesota, Paul Fletcher. What's happening?
As we begin day 5 of these wildfires in northern Minnesota, the damage almost doubled yesterday.
Oof.
Yeah.
Jeez.
0% containment still. However, rain is possible today, so let's hope to hell they get dumped on up there, huh?
Man, we're up to many, many thousands of acres.
37,000. Yeah. 37,000, 0% containment. Parking on some streets in Falcon Heights during the Minnesota State Fair won't be free this year. On Wednesday, the City Council unanimously approved a new contract with Park Mobile, a parking management company, to begin charging a daily parking fee during the 12 days of the Minnesota State Fair. And I think this Falcon Heights resident right here sort of nails it.
Everyone in my household is pretty upset about the whole thing. First off, it kind of feels like a way for an outside company to make money off of like publicly available works.
Doesn't bother me too much. It's a creative solution. People are going to complain either way.
So
Response from the neighborhood, yeah.
Yep. There's the other side of it as well. You know what? I think I thought our taxes paid for these streets, and just feels like a way to gouge people. I think.
I'm still just shaking in my shoes because it sounded to me like you said Effin Heights, and I was like, wow, really going strong. But you said Falcon. I went back and listened to the tape.
Yeah, it's also a proof that the state fair is coming sooner than we realize.
Or, of course, as my father would have pronounced it, Falcon Heights. We never understood why. He always said the Atlanta Falcons, and we looked at him and we're like, what a strange man. Falcons.
My dad says Portland, Oregon. So
okay, all right.
So we got that.
All right,
going.
I've heard that one as well.
Mm-hmm. The creators of Spinal Tap have announced a new behind-the-scenes book. A fine line between stupid and clever, written by Rob Reiner, Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer, is set to be released on September 9th. The book will feature firsthand stories about the creation of the 84 film and its iconic one-liners, as well as real-life Spinal Tap moments from rock stars like Slash and etc. A fictional half of the book also will be included, dubbed as a B-side, be written by Spinal Tap's band members recounting their life in the band to director Marty DeBurgi.
Very nice.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot
I'm sure
of fun.
it'll be well worth the time you spend with that book.
A couple of quick hitters to close. Remember when HBO changed its name to HBO Max?
I do.
And then they decided to just be Max, but everybody just still called it HBO Max?
Of course.
Well, now they're changing it back to HBO Max.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What
yeah.
the hell is happening? People are getting paid to decide these things.
Well, one guy who's running the company who's just like, I'm going to put my stamp on it. And then finally enough people went to him and said, would you stop? It's HBO. It's the greatest brand in TV history, and you're ruining it. Mm-hmm. Get out of the way, dude.
Mm-hmm. Last but not least, Hollywood lost a legend yesterday. Morris the alligator passed away at age of 80. Morris was known for his work in film and television from 1975 to 2006, most notably in Dr. Dolittle 2 and The Alligator That Took the Hand of Chubbs Peterson in Happy Gilmore. Rest in peace.
Wow. I had no idea there were acting alligators. I know there's snakes. I didn't know an alligator had more than one gig. Wow.
I'm impressed that he was like 80.
Yeah.
80 and retired in Colorado, actually.
Retired.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm like the only person in entertainment that's never going to get to retire.
You and me both.
Let's talk about sports, shall we? How about the Minnesota Timberwolves? Damn straight they knocked the Warriors out in 5. Julius Randle has decided, hey, you know what? Now that I'm in Minnesota, how about I become a playoff monster? 29 points on 13 of 18. I watched this game. I thought he was 18 for 18. He just had one of those nights where every time the ball left his hand, I was like, that's in, that's in, that's in, that's in.
Yeah.
13 for 18 is very efficient offense, Julius. Thank you very much for that. Ant, 22 points, 12 assists. After the game, Julius Randle keeping it all in perspective.
Trip to the Western Conference Finals, how you feeling?
Feel great. Did what we supposed to do, took care of business on our home court. Got win number 8, looking for number 9 now.
Did what we were supposed to do.
Yep.
We got 8 wins. We're just looking for number 9.
Yep.
That's right. Got to give Steve Kerr a lot of props. The Warriors coach, who earlier was asked about if Steph were healthy, he said we had as good a chance as anybody. After the game, he said, there's no sense in talking about Steph. I don't want to take away from what Minnesota just accomplished. This is a great ball club.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Nothing but class. The Minnesota Frost. Oh, yeah, we're going to the finals again, ladies and gentlemen. They beat Toronto in the semifinals yesterday in OT, a 4-3 home overtime victory, and the winner sounded like this.
Taylor Heisey with the shot. She scores!
Come on.
Minnesota Magic in overtime. The reigning Walter Cup champions are heading back to the PWHL finals.
Any comments there, my man?
One heck of a call there. That's what you get when you get a national crew instead of a local crew. She didn't sound that excited. But, it was good. It was a relatively small crowd, I hate to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they're just so mighty. It's cool to see how passionate people are about this team. And, it's like I said earlier, they flipped the switch, and they look like every bit the team that won it last year.
Very nice. Yesterday in Baltimore, the Minnesota Twins did exactly what we were hoping they would do.
Unbelievable.
They didn't win a game. They won 2 games. Cody Clemens doing his best to make us all, which would be honestly a godsend. Forget his dad. Went yard. It sounded like this.
Clemens is swinging a high fly ball into right field and deep. This one back towards the wall. It is gone. A home run. Cody Clemens does it again. And the Twins take the lead here in the 8th inning.
That's That's a go-ahead, as you heard, a 3-run homer for the second, a doubleheader against Baltimore. The Twins have won 10 in a row. Okay, a year ago they were 7-13 and then won 12 straight. This year they were 13-20 and have now won 10 straight. This is the first time in Major League history a team below 500 reeled off 10 straight wins 2 years in a row.
Wow.
That means nothing, but it sounds great.
Yeah, it does. You're exactly right.
We're still in mid-May.
Yeah.
I mean, literally mid-May on the 15th.
I know.
But
I
hey,
could go
man,
for
it's a
some
good sign.
Double-digit streaks after the All-Star break.
Yeah,
if you really want to see those.
That's what you're talking about. The Vikings schedule was released yesterday, late afternoon. See what happens when you go 14-3? You get a gauntlet as a reward. 2 in a row in Europe. Then the Eagles come to town. Ouch. Then we play in LA against the Chargers. Ouch. And then at Detroit. Ouch. And then Baltimore comes to town. That's a heck of a run. 2 in a row in Europe, followed by that 4-team run. No Thanksgiving game. We got some erroneous information yesterday. They were not playing on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But the final 2 games of the season, we host Detroit and Green Bay, as always. The division games right there at the end. It's going to be a rough run for J.J. McCarthy. My God. Welcome to the league, kid. Here's one of the toughest schedules you'll ever deal with. But I'm looking very forward to it. Shout out Credit River, Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
Good to have you with us, Credit River.
Wedged comfortably between Ryder's hometown of Lakeville and Prior Lake, a relatively new city. 2021, they became incorporated.
I thought you were going to say wedged over there right by Cash Only Valley. Credit River, we're really happy you're with us tonight. And by the way, you can go to 92KQRS right now to vote for KQ's bestest. You got till tomorrow to vote for a whole lot of categories. Vote as many times as you like. And we right now need to discuss the bestest bowling alley in the area. And I'm literally and quite honestly and quite humbly asking for some insight, because I'm a man who appreciates a day on the waxwood.
Yeah.
You give me a ball with 3 holes and a beer and some really cool looking shoes, and I'm in heaven. So I'm just going to come right out and say it. All I know is Elsie's. That's the only place I've bowled since I got to town. It's right down the street from me.
Yep.
I can walk there. I enjoy it. I've had a great time there on more than half a dozen occasions. I'm a fan. That said, I know there's a lot of great bowling in the area. So what's the bowling alley, Ryder? What comes to mind first?
Oh, well, my neighborhood bowling alley is Memory Lane. It's very much affiliated with LC's, but is within stumbling distance of my house.
Nice.
It's nice and roomy and has a great bar, too.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they usually put bands someplace not on the lanes, but they do have bands play, and they used to just throw them up right on the lane.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. Paul, you're not necessarily, it's not your favorite thing to do, but you've thrown a few. You've rolled a few frames.
I've done it. It's mostly with the kiddos.
Sure.
We've got a place called River City Extreme out in Monticello, which is, not quite the end of the earth, but you can see it from there. It's a long ways out, but it's, they've got games, and they do the midnight bowling with the vibrant colors,
the stuff,
and laser tag and all that crap. Sports bar.
Yeah.
It's it's nothing special, nothing fancy.
Got
but to me, Elsie's is you've been at the Legend.
That's good. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to beat.
Okay, on the page you can vote for 5, but I'll take other recommendations. You got Town Hall Lanes, South Minneapolis on there. You got Flaherty's Arden Bowl in Arden Hills, Blaine Brook in Blaine, Derkula's. Is that how we're saying that?
I think so.
Derkula's 32 Bowl in Invergrove Heights.
Derkula's is actually running away with the poll right now.
Is that true?
They're at 37%, followed up by your hometown spot, Elsie's at 22.
Wow.
So.
I've never been to Derkula's, but I looked it up the other day, and the photos are phenomenal.
Oh, really?
It looks pretty
All right.
awesome,
Well, then I got a trip to Invergrove Heights I got to take.
Sounds like it.
First time I was ever in Minneapolis, April of 1990. Played First Ave opening for a band called Junkyard, and then we had the midnight bowling party because our t-shirt company was based in Minneapolis. They took us out, and not only that, they made up sweatshirts for the night. Black Crows, like the 2 crows, the Heckle and Jekyll crows, like our mascot, with bowling balls, bowling pins.
Oh, neat.
Only for band and crew. It's the most limited edition Black Crow swag you can find.
Do you have 6 of them in a storage unit somewhere?
I got one of them.
Wow.
And my son has it, and he still rocks it. He's like, he found that thing in a bin once. He was like, oh my God. And I think it was never worn. It was like pristine, like jet black still, never faded. But he's been rocking that one. So if you can find the Black Crowes bowling swag, then that's the only one that I ever see. And I have seen on occasion, every now and again, one comes across the radar, and all I think is, who did you know? Who on our crew gave away their sweatshirt? What the hell were they thinking? But go to KQ's Bestest, 92KQRS.com, and vote and suggest to me, tell me, what bowling alley do I need to get to?
Sponsored by JTR Roofing.
JTR Roofing are very good friends of ours, and they are bringing us this bad boy with great panache.
Yes,
they are.
Absolutely.
It is time to look forward to this. How about we all love our favorite bands. There's always that album that comes through with an artist or a band, and it's like, oh my God, they've made it. They've really done the deal. What about the follow-up album? What are the great, if I say who had the best follow-up, there's the album that makes you, but then what about the next album? Who do you think, who comes to mind? Oh my God, they outdid themselves.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line, 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Bruce Springsteen's third album, Born to Run, was the one that broke him. Or was his third or fourth? Or third album. I'm getting it all confused. Third album. He followed it up with Darkness on the Edge of Town. A lot of your Springsteen fanatics will tell you that's a better record. You have the breakthrough. Right. Doesn't have to be your debut album, but there's an album in every artist's career where it's like, oh, now they're on the map.
Yeah.
Right.
This planted them firmly on everybody's radar. Whether you liked it or not, you knew who they were. They had permeated and broken through. So for Springsteen, he followed up Born to Run with Darkness on the Edge of Town. Not an easy feat, but he pulled it off.
Okay, before we get into this, I want to ask you, because you've been there, did you guys feel a lot of pressure following up that huge album? I mean, I've heard stories from both sides.
No, not at all. We were hopelessly in denial that it mattered. I mean, it was a superpower to say we don't care.
Right.
Now we wanted this. So what I'm talking about is my former band, the Black Crowes. Our first album, Shake Your Moneymaker, was huge, way bigger than we ever imagined it possibly to be.
Right.
Our goal in the studio, we talked about it. We want to sell 50,000 copies. That's all we wanted because we knew that would give us a chance to make a second record.
Okay.
It sold 10 times that, 5 million. And we kept hearing from people by the time we were ready to make a second record, the pressure. And honest to God, all we thought was, we're so much better now. Who cares? Like, we had gone out and become a great band. Like, we made a great record, but we weren't as good as that record. That's almost every band's experience. You make a first record, and you put everything you have into it, and then you have to go become the band that made that record. That was our experience. Well, then we just went way beyond that. So anyway, going into the studio, we made our second record. I started tracking on Friday night, and I was done on Monday. That's how nervous we were.
There you go.
Yeah.
We spent 8 days in the studio.
You didn't have time to be nervous.
No, I mean, it was like our producer George Drakoulias and the engineer Brendan O'Brien. After the first track we cut, they were like, "Okay, looks like this is going to be a quick one." I mean, most of those songs are first, second, or third take. There's only one song that's more than 3 takes, and it was Remedy. We thought it was done, and then 3 days later we went back and said, "Wait, let's redo it." One take with the new arrangement, and it was done. It was that fast, honestly. So to answer your question, no.
0.
Now,
hit it and quit it.
Now, it only sold half as many copies as the first record, but I will tell you, it's in every way other than maybe Earworm Hooks, it's a far superior album. And any Black Crowes fan would say the same thing.
I think
long-winded way of saying not so much pressure.
Yeah. You know what, though? You see that so often.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That the follow-up maybe doesn't do as well, but that's because it's like you caught, in a lot of ways, you fight it, right? It's like, okay, cool, the music's there, the record's good,
right?
The buzz about the band live, etc., all of that. But a lot of times it's also lightning in a bottle.
There's so many other things too. You're exactly right. You do that. You know, like I said, we made a record. We were hoping for 50,000. We didn't think in 1989, in the summer of '89, if you put on rock radio, nobody was doing Otis Redding covers.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nobody was blindly just saying, "Hey, we love the Rolling Stones, and if you don't believe it, listen to this." Like, we were wearing our influences on our sleeves proudly.
Yeah.
That wasn't what rock radio sounded like in '89. It was Guns N' Roses and all the Guns N' Roses wannabes. That's what it was.
Metallica.
And so, no, not in 89. It was 91 before Enter Sandman. So, I mean, it was... Right. So again, we're making a record with a whole different mindset. And then it blows up because it turned out to be a nice counterpoint to the Sunset Strip. It was like, oh, no, the vibe was, oh, that's more like real rock and roll. We've gotten away from that. It's not trying to be so hard, but it's blah, blah, blah. But then while we're touring that album, as our first album is exploding in the spring and summer of 91, here comes Nirvana, here comes Pearl Jam, here comes the next wave. We were this bridge from Sunset Strip to Seattle. We had a hot minute, but then by the time our second record came out, which we're like, man, check this out, it was like, oh, Pearl Jam and Nirvana and Soundgarden are all bigger than ever. Like, it's just industry. It's the way the world works. The sands shift constantly.
Right.
So but again, we were so in our own bubble. We were like, hey, man, cool. Like, we didn't care that it didn't sell. Now, everybody else did. The record company wasn't thrilled. And,
of course. You
know, there's people like, man, you guys, you gotta get a hold of this. You got to go back. And we were like, we were never supposed to sell that many records in the first place. That just wasn't, I mean, no one was more bewildered than we were that we sold that many records.
So wait, how many, so Shake Your Moneymaker sold, you said 5?
At the time, it was 5 million.
5 million copies.
Yeah, in 90 and 91. By the time our second record came out, it was at 5 times platinum.
Okay.
And the second one did like 2.5.
That's still a crap ton of records.
Believe me when I say, I mean, again, we were a band that was like, everybody that started our band came together because we all loved REM and the Replacements and Soul Asylum and Jason and the Scorchers and the Dream Syndicate. Like, none of those bands, even REM hadn't sold that many records up until 91. Out of Time was the first time they had a record that sold like that.
Right.
So we went way beyond all of our heroes. Like, what the hell? We were bewildered. Honestly, that's the word for it. Yeah. How did we sell this many records?
You're already making gravy. Everything's great.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
The Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream, their second album is the first one that that's where they were. They're on everybody's radar. Yep. It sold like 5 million copies. Mm-hmm. And it was like, what are they going to do? That's a great example. Melancholy and the Infinite, they followed it up with the double out. They were like, you
and
think
the double album of the decade, by the way.
I mean, they came out a full credit, like, now the pressure's on. You're the poster boy, the bald poster boy of alt rock,
right?
Because grunge had already sort of, tapered out by 95. Fall of 95, it was like, what's next? And Billy Corgan was like, I'll show you what's next. Here's a double album. And to him, full credit, man.
Yeah,
well done.
That is a fantastic record. My guys, you don't see Pearl Jam's verses on a lot of the. I did some when we were talking about this, I Googled as many lists as I could find. They don't pop up on a lot, but 10 sold 13 million copies. They were a household name.
Kind of big.
And they kind of just went through a middle finger at everything. They cut the hair, stopped wearing the flannel, and completely cleaned up the sound.
Mm-hmm.
And much like your Crows record, I think a lot of Pearl Jam fans would say it's a better record. Although in retrospect, I look back, I don't know that it is. But at the time, it definitely felt like it.
Yeah. Oh, the vibe on Versus was okay. That wasn't a one-hit thing. They're a real. That's a legit band.
I just got goosebumps.
651-989 Rock. Who followed up the breakthrough with an even better record? Talking about follow-ups, albums that put you on the radar or on the map, albums that break an artist, but then the follow-up is even better. If you go back in rock history, I think it's a fairly safe assessment. Led Zeppelin 2 is better than Led Zeppelin 1, and a lot of people. I mean, when you kick off the follow-up to your groundbreaking debut album with Whole Lot of Love, it's like, I think they're in good shape here, guys. I think they're going to be okay.
They're doing just fine.
That's a pretty strong one.
How about AC/DC Back in Black?
I would say that was the follow-up, because Highway to Hell is what put them on. That's the one that after build-up, Highway to Hell broke them. And I mean, that's Highway to Hell is like when my mom had heard of that. AC/DC, that's that Hell band. Like, they were out there. That's the one. And then, of course, they followed that up with Back in Black, which is the biggest rock album of all time, with a new singer. So that's a pretty impossible feat. But if in your opinion Back in Black is the follow-up.
No, that's the follow-up.
Okay, but I'm saying, but if that's the one that put them on the map, For Those About to Rock is a very worthy follow-up, and a lot of people tell you they prefer that to Back in Black. So suffice to say, they were on a bit of a roll in the late 70s and early 80s.
AC/DC has good problems, basically.
Yeah, they really do.
Whether you look at that as the breakthrough or that as the follow-up, they still win.
Another example from the 90s, I guess it's late 80s. Okay, now Aerosmith, a band from the 70s, they had driven themselves right into the ditch. Their big comeback record, Permanent Vacation, right, came out in 87. Yeah. And it was sort of like, okay, they made a pop record, very shiny sounds and some outside songwriters, and they're going for it. Mm-hmm. But the follow-up to Permanent Vacation was looked at like, this is a one-off, right? Like, they're not going to sustain this for a full-on, multi-pronged comeback. This is just like, hey, we had one last shot at it. But then they followed it up with Pump, which was even bigger, and in my opinion, even better. And it was like, oh, holy crap! Yeah. And then after that, Get a Grip. Then the biggest one of all time. It's kind of crazy. Like, I look back at that and think,
almost like a second career.
In the late, it was very much that. In the late '80s, everybody thought, oh, this isn't going to last. And last I heard, they were still planning to tour a year ago. So it did okay. Pretty good comeback, fellas.
I got one from the pop genre that definitely qualifies.
Okay.
Michael Jackson's Thriller. I didn't realize Off the Wall sold 20 million copies.
Oh, dude. I was in high school when Off the Wall came out. There was there was inconceivable he could top that record.
What was the hit on Off the Wall?
Living. Don't stop till you get enough. Yes. Which is still my favorite Michael Jackson song of his solo career. And then it had...
and Rock With You.
Rock With You is humongous.
Yeah, humongous.
And then She's Out of My Life, where he cries on the... I mean, come on, man. That's just gut-wrenching stuff. And so when Thriller came out, believe me, everybody was like, it's not as good as Off the Wall. And then 6 months later, it's kind of like...
Oh, I guess
this is a pretty big record you put out here, Mike. Nice job.
Dude, Billie Jean's just... Man...
pretty thick record there. Pretty good run for MJ.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much.
Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. It's time for Rank You Very Much. And yet again, yes again, by God, we've got a special guest. Paul, introduce your friend.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, known for his appearances on Care 11 over the years, and now more known for his travel quirks and all of your nonsense and skullduggery. And it's Eric Perkins, everybody. Perk at Play. Hi, Eric Perkins.
Oh, what's up, Paul? What's up, Gorman? What's up, Ryder? How's everybody?
Did you run that place for a long time?
Yeah, pretty much. Once Majors left, it was mine.
I'm still. We were just before we came on the air. This mayoral run you're considering, very exciting stuff, Perk.
I'm flirting with it.
You've got my vote.
Yeah. Well, thanks. We're in this exploratory phases right now, so we're gonna.
For where? Credit River?
Malacca.
Okay.
You know what? I didn't even think to ask. I just got excited at the concept.
I think you should be a mayor. You'd get the popular vote easily.
Thanks, Paul.
No problem.
The people's poet, Eric Perkins, in the studio.
It's
fantastic. It's time to play Rank You Very Much, though. We have business to attend to.
Yeah, this is not a game.
This is a wonderful momentary lapse of reason, is what we're looking for right
100%.
here. Ranking a topic once a week. Today's topic, and this is kind of important for people who grew up in a certain time, which would be the time we all grew up. Favorite cereal mascots.
Coolest.
Favorite cereal. Coolest? Or I'm going with favorite, but you want to say
it's all
coolest?
one and the same.
I think it's all going to be one and the same.
It's all one and the same.
Cereal mascots. The one that mean the most to you, what is it? That's what we're looking at. So we're going to give you our top 3, each of us, and then we'll, of course, learn something about each other that's probably going to make us uncomfortable along the way.
Hopefully,
I'm going to suggest. The special guest of the day, if it's okay with you, I'd like you to lead us off. Your third cereal mascot, Perk.
Yeah, I have a really good on base percentage, so I'll lead off here. You know what? I was shocked at how many cereal mascots there actually are. I mean, if you have a cereal, you kind of have to roll out a mascot with it. And so I think just to start things off, to dip our toes in the water, I'm going to take an iconic brand that everybody ate and everybody loved, and we love our friends at General Mills. But until the bee was rolled out, it was sort of stagnant, and then the bee took it to a whole nother level. I don't even know the bee's name, but the Honey Nut Cheerio bee is my number 3, and I think the success of the bee with Honey Nut Cheerios kind of spawned all the other iterations of Cheerios that happened after that. And so, yeah, just props to the bee. And again, if anybody knows the bee's name, I'd love to know. But the Honey Nut Cheerios bee is my number 3.
Brace yourself. The bee's name is Buzz.
Buzz.
Yeah.
Inspiring generations of cereal eaters, as well as the Blind Melon video. You know, that was that girl's take on Buzz the bee.
I wanted to be the bee girl so bad.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
I wish you had been.
Pearl Jam wrote a song to the bee girl, actually.
Is that true?
Live on Rockline in 1995.
What's wrong with them?
It's brilliant.
Every time you start to make me think they're cool, then you tell me something like that.
That's awesome. What are you talking about? They wrote a song.
Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to make fun of your rankings, not your favorite band. Ryder, number 3. Rank you very much.
I just got to say about the bee's kind of a snoozer, man. Like, you really let me down.
It is kind of a snoozer.
I was going easy on our guest. I was ready to crush him for his number 2 pick. But you're right. The bee, come on, dude.
That's bordering on, like, he's leaning back in his chair right now. I kind of want to grab the front of it and just tip him over.
All right, I'm going to go for the 3 first. Snap, crackle, pop.
Wow.
They make great noises.
They do. The Manny, Mo, and Jack of breakfast.
Yes.
You want to talk about boring?
Is that your 3, 2, and 1? Or is that are you putting?
No, I'm sneaking 3 in my number 3 spot.
Is that legal?
No, it's not. But whatever. Okay. She runs the show, so we're going to let her have it.
It's not legal.
Because that's not one mascot. That's 3-headed mascot.
You always see them together.
That's very true.
That's like saying your favorite comedian is Larry, Moe, and Curly. I don't know if this is a thing.
Are you feeling uncomfortable?
Okay.
Good point.
It's a couple of it's 3 mascots representing one cereal, 3 mascots with no personality representing a cereal that has no personality.
Come on, I will even.
That has no flavor, nothing.
No, come on, man. That's what they make sugar for.
All right, you know what? Can we get this serious?
Go.
Here's my third, all right? Where am I going here? Silly Rabbit, Tricks are for kids. That Tricks Rabbit was always up to nonsense, man. He was not trustworthy, just like the cereal probably wasn't very trustworthy. Bright colors, He always got my attention when I was walking down the aisle as a wee one. Yeah, absolutely.
Tricks are for kids.
Coming after my cavities.
Had some mischief for sure.
I mean, I'll give him credit for keeping adults out of the room.
I thought about putting the Tricks Rabbit on my list, and then I was looking it up, and somebody compared him to Sisyphus, and I'm like, I don't got time for your Greek references.
That's right.
So you went
just doing the same thing over and over again.
So
I'm like,
Snapple, crack, Snapple, Ripple, and Jipple, or whatever the hell those stupid rights
compared him to Sisyphus or Carl Anthony Towns trying to play defense. Just keep making the same mistake over and over and over.
Steve, who's your 3?
Number 3, let's get right to it. Count Alfred Chocula.
Solid.
That's his name, by the way.
Solid. Yep.
Come on, man. I mean, he's a vampire. Anytime you see a breakfast cereal mascot and you think of Bela Lugosi, you're on the right track. Count Chocula has chocolate sweeties. I mean, come on. Who didn't love? And they even made up for the fact that Count Chocula wasn't all that great.
I'm going to jump the line and say that Count Chocula is my number 2.
Oh, is it?
Yes, he's seasonal. You don't get him all the time. He's got all that chocolate. I feel like we could team up and make some great edibles.
Oh, man,
you know what?
No kidding.
If we were in a grocery store right now and you were jumping in line, I would have bumped into you because Count Chocula is my number 2.
Oh, really?
And I agree with you as well, Steve. It's not a very good cereal. In fact, I had a sweet tooth to kill all sweet tooths when I was a kid, and I still didn't think Count Chocula was all that good.
Yeah,
but he's a Count.
But he was better than Frankenberry.
You can't
and he was better than Boo Berry. I mean, the other monsters just weren't. They just didn't have anywhere near the joie de vivre of a Count Chocula.
Joie de vivre.
He's a freaking Count. That's all you need to say. He's a Count.
All right, well, so we've got both your number 2s, right?
Broke the seal, broke the seal. We can't even fight Ryder on that one because we agree.
Perk?
I'm going with Sonny. And if you don't know who Sonny is, Sonny is actually the Cocoa Puff cuckoo bird.
Yeah.
Who just absolutely loses his mind, goes ape at the just yearning for this cereal. He can't handle it.
Well, goes cuckoo. If you don't mind, you're stepping on my toes.
Okay.
My number 2, Sonny the Cuckoo Bird.
Yeah, thank you.
Listen, I always had a soft spot for anybody battling and doing their best to recover from addiction, and that's Sonny. I mean, listen, he was hopelessly strung out on these Cocoa Puffs, all right? There's just no getting around it. Doing his best to stay clean, and he would always have a different activity. He's trying to keep his mind off of it, and then it would build. You'd see the tension building, and it's like, I mean, it's like a bowl of crack to him, and they would just finally explode.
Spiraling out of control.
Cocoa Puffs! I mean, you'd watch the release. I always felt bad for him. Heart of gold, and just dealing with crosses no one should have to bear.
Thanks for recognizing that. Yeah, and by the way, just a side note that both of yours are chocolate-based cereals, which I think is interesting.
Well, it's the mascot more than the cereal.
Yeah.
But I preferred Cocoa Puffs to Count Chocula, and I prefer Sonny to the Count. That's me. That's my number 2.
Yeah. I prefer the Count to Sonny, but I prefer Cocoa Puffs over Count Chocula, for sure. Also, sad news to report. Apparently, based on what I'm reading in front of me right now, Sonny the Cuckoo Bird, 1962 to 2024, apparently has passed.
Well, I mean,
is it because they didn't want to showcase his addiction?
Could be. I mean, I'm going to have to dig
I'll
dig into this deeper, and when we get to our number 1s, I will give you finality on this story.
He's the Lane Staley of breakfast cereals. Poor guy. It's just inevitable. Eventually, it's going to get the best of him.
It's
in his early 60s.
Yeah.
Why wasn't this more prominently out
on
there?
borrowed time for the last 3 decades, though? I mean, when you're dealing with those kind of issues. So is that all of our number 2s? We had a lot. We had 2 Sonnies and 2 Count Choculas.
We did.
Wow, we're crossing up here.
This was just a history of. He has not passed.
Oh,
I'm
he's
happy
not.
to report he's still alive and well.
Oh
my God, that scared me because as much as I like Count over Cuckoo, I don't want.
Sonny, keep working
Sonny.
the steps, man.
Yeah,
Work
he's
the
just
program.
he's playing shuffleboard somewhere in Scottsdale. He's all right.
Yeah, he's still living life on life's terms. I'm proud of him. With special guest star Perk in studio as we're doing our Thursday tradition. Rank you very much. 651-989-ROCK is the talk and text line. Breakfast cereal mascots. We're talking about who's your favorite, who's the best, who's the coolest. Kathy just simply sent in a photo of a, so far anyway, unrepresented mascot, Toucan Sam. I forgot how handsome he was. Look at that guy.
He's got a very colorful beak, for sure.
Scott texted Sugar Bear was quite the pimp for cereal mascots.
Honey Smacks, right?
The pimp. Sugar Crisp. And then they changed it to Honey.
Oh, Honey Sugar
Smacks. And then it was Honey because they were like, don't call it sugar.
Yeah.
Call it Honey.
Like KFC, right.
This is a good one from Christine. You should have done creepiest. I'm still freaked out by this guy 45 years later with a picture of King Vitamin. Remember that old guy?
Yes!
King Vitamin.
Yes.
Have breakfast with the king.
That's a great call.
Yeah, very good call. All right, but it's time for us to share our number ones.
I'm going to jump on Kathy's bandwagon and say it's Toucan Sam, the number one, voiced by the iconic Mel Blanc, who did Bugs Bunny and all that stuff.
Did. That's right. We used to, the Gorman family cereal, the box after, there's 8 kids, so it's just so much cereal. But we would take the Fruit Loops, and I would say, I'm going to have a bowl of just red Fruit Loops, and then my brother would take just the blue. We would separate them by color.
Oh, geez.
We had favorite colors. They all taste exactly the same, of course.
Little OCD breakfast.
A little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah.
By the way, Fruit Loops in a marshmallow square. So what the Rice Krispie squares made with Fruit Loops?
Okay, sure.
Bomb.
Yeah, that works. That does work.
Jeez.
Perk, it's time for number one, brother. Who you got?
I mean, there's been a lot of captains over the years. Captain Jack Sparrow, Captain Kangaroo, Captain Morgan. Sure. I mean, run them down, but there's only one Okay, and that's Captain Crunch. And I don't think you can throw this category out without recognizing the elite status of this guy. Just all his barrel-chested beauty and just the way he carries himself over the years. If I'm riding or dying with somebody in the cereal mascot universe, it's Captain, and obviously they feel the same way too because they put him on the Crunch Berries and they put him on the peanut butter and they put him on the vanilla. I mean, whatever, you got to have the Captain.
He had quite an armada. I mean, the Spanish are jealous of him.
But it's like I always say, kids, you can't get away with the Crunch because the Crunch always gives you away.
There you go.
Why are you looking at me like that? Why are you looking at me like that? You're freaking me out.
I'm looking at you in awe because you know what the hell you're talking about. Number one is the Captain. I mean, he's ascended to captain status. Not everybody gets to be a captain. And I would say that he ushered in. The Captain is what made Crunch Berries possible. He's the one who made Peanut Butter Crunch possible. If not for the Captain, we don't even have those. He's got no legs, a giant body.
Legs?
No, they're tiny. They're almost unnoticeable. He's got a giant torso and the biggest head you've ever seen, and that all just leads to show you that he's in charge.
And he likes to party.
By the way, full name Horatio Magellan Crunch. Look it up.
That makes sense. That's
such a beautiful deep dive.
Well, and you need those names to back up Captain Crunch.
Right. I mean, just you get the sense when you think about Captain that he's been places. This guy's seen some things.
And I'm a fan, make no mistake, but he's not my number one.
Okay.
Because I'm always rooting for the underdog. And who spent their life with the single focus of trying to figure out how it is that Captain Crunch's crunchy cereal stays crunchy even after you pour on the milk. Who had an even better cereal?
Nobody.
The pirate, Jean Lafoot, Cinnamon Crunch. Jean Lafoot is the greatest mascot in the history of morning breakfast cereal. Listen, he went to extreme measures to swipe that precious cargo. And yes, he was always foiled by the smarter Captain Crunch. But come on, man. Give a guy credit. He believed in his own cereal so much that they gave him his own. I mean, he believed in his own ability to determine where the crunch came from. They gave him his own cereal. Cinnamon Crunch, I will die on the hill, a superior cereal to Captain Crunch.
Because tonight I, Jean Lafoot, the used-to-be barefoot pirate, will swipe all the Captain Crunch cereal from the storeroom of the good ship Guppy.
But why?
You got to be as quiet as a thief in the night if you're going to be a thief in the night.
Come on, you can't top that. You've got to be as quiet as a thief in the night if you're going to be a thief in the night.
Used to be a barefoot pirate.
He was.
The same nonsense that you're spewing, he's spewing. It's right there in your lead-up. He spent his life chasing Captain Crunch.
Right, and I said
and
I'm always going for the underdog. I'm always pulling for the underdog.
This isn't even.
It's not even French accent. Come on,
he's trying to. That's a cop out.
Yeah, it's not even a Yankees Red Sox rivalry. It's more of like a Yankees Rays.
Red Sox double H.
Captain Crunch over there with bottled water. This guy's smoking lung darts and drinking wine. He's cooler than Captain Crunch.
Our text line's getting real fired up about no Tony the Tiger mention.
Yeah,
you know why?
No kidding.
Because Tony the Tiger might be the most overrated ever. That guy's a liar.
Telling you what, man.
Fraud.
A surprising omission, I think, of Lucky Leprechaun, too, not even cracking this top 3 by any of us.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
That's very
fair.
true.
But it just doesn't match up. He doesn't have the personality. He doesn't have the presence.
Right.
Certainly not of a Captain Crunch.
I was excited when he introduced the new Blue Diamonds. That was always, they brought the new one in.
That was so revolutionary.
That
really
changed
was
things.
Revolutionary, yeah.
No, that changed things right there. Perk, it's always a pleasure, brother.
You guys have an awesome. What day is it? Yeah, Thursday. Okay.
Thursday.
Yeah.
I guess we're not going to see you next Thursday. You can't even remember what day to get here.
Appreciate you.
The value of being self-employed. You lose track of what day it is.
That's exactly right.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. We have tickets to Farm Aid. It's September 20th at the Huntington Bank Stadium, and we want to send one of our listeners today to the show. We're going to play a little game we call the Twin Cities Civil War. We've got 2 callers locked and loaded, ready to rock. One from the west side, one from the east side. We're going to get right to it. I'm going to be asking questions rapid fire. The listener will answer them. The one who gets the most right, you have 60 seconds each. The one with the most correct answers will attend the show. Is that it, Ryder? Am I forgetting anything?
Music theme today. We are taking your first answer. And, I hope we don't go to a tiebreaker today because I still don't know how the phones work.
No corrections. All right, first up from the west side, we got, Marcy from Watertown. Marcy, good morning.
Good morning.
Are you ready to rock?
I sure am.
Okay, Ryder's going to give you a countdown, and we're off and running.
All right, and remember, these are music theme, Marcy. Here we go.
Born Robert Zimmerman, what legendary folk musician graduated from Hibbing High School?
Don't know.
The cover of the Replacements album Let It Be features the band on top of a house in what trendy Minneapolis neighborhood?
You can pass.
Edina.
What 60s garage band from Minneapolis had a hit song with Surfin' Bird?
All
right, we'll come back. Following his death in 2016, The Wild would play what hit Prince song to celebrate goals the following season?
Purple Rain.
Formed under the name Loud Fast Rules, what Minnesota band played the Grand Forks Prom following the Red River flood of 1997?
Oh, I'm terrible. Don't know.
Paul Westerberg shouted profanity at Bob Stinson on live TV. It got the Replacements banned from which sketch comedy show?
3 seconds.
Saturday Live.
Got it. She was in under the wire.
I'm
Saturday
giving you
Night
that
Live.
one. Okay.
All right, Marcy.
It's tough today.
Very tough today. Sit tight, Marcy. We're going to get on to the competition, but well challenged, I'll say.
The 5 that Marcy did not get, number 1 was Bob Dylan. Number 2 is the Uptown Neighborhood. The Trashmen was number 3. The Prince song was Let's Go Crazy. And Soul Asylum played up in Grand Forks following the flood.
Thank you, sir, for the follow-up. All right, number 2 caller, Sean from the east side from St. Paul. Sean, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We're great, brother. You ready to rock this bad boy?
I'm going to try my hardest.
All right.
Sean,
that's all we could ask.
That you just got to get 2, man.
Here we go.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock starts now.
In Purple Rain, Prince delivers the iconic line, "Purify yourselves in the waters of" what West Metro Lake?
Minnetonka.
Born Frances Ethel Gum in Grand Rapids, this musical movie icon's most famous line, "Toto, I've got a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore." Name her.
Can you repeat that one?
She was born Frances Ethel Gum in Grand Rapids. She said the line, "Toto, I've got a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore." Who was she?
Dorothy. Who was that lady?
We'll move on. Named after a Minneapolis elementary school, Marcy Playground's biggest hit song names these two vices.
Sex and Candy.
Buried in Lakewood Cemetery, this ukulele player was famous for his song Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
I don't know that one.
Guitarist Slim Dunlap, the Replacement's replacement, held a day job as a janitor at what famous music venue?
First Avenue.
Well,
Too
I
late?
mean, you already had it.
He already had it.
He already got
Yes,
it, so we'll
dude.
give it to him. Yeah.
All right, Sean, you came through, brother. You got enough. You got enough of it right to give yourself tickets to Farm Aid. Congratulations.
That is awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Is Sean from the east side?
St. Paul.
Sean's from
All
St.
right,
Paul, yes.
fair enough. Number 2, Sean, you missed. That was Judy Garland. That's who played Dorothy. And
okay.
Tiny Tim was the guy that took us tiptoeing through the tulips.
That's right.
All right.
All right. He doesn't care. He won the game. He's ready to move on.
And he evened up the score. We're early on, but we're going to keep track for the long haul. The overall big picture is now East versus West, 1-1.
Very
Man,
nice.
I had a lot of people in Columbia Heights trying to get in on the game, and I couldn't figure out exactly where to place them.
It happens.
Yeah, that's confusing, right? That's tough.
All right, well done. We got tickets put away. We're feeling pretty good about these things. That's very exciting. It is May 15th, Sunday, May 18th. This Sunday, John Caparulo will be at the Parkway Theater. It's a very funny gentleman, and he happens to be on the horn right now, joining Gorman in the morning. John, good morning, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right. I got to start here. I'm reading that you're from East Liverpool, Ohio.
Yes, I am.
I'm looking at a map, and I don't see a Liverpool, Ohio. What's happening down there?
Right. But see, they I guess it's like named after the Liverpool in England, but it's it's west of that.
Right.
Depending on which way you're traveling. Look, the test scores weren't really high.
Right. Okay.
They went with East Liverpool. I don't know if they got in a fight with West Liverpool and won, but yeah, I don't know. But
that'd be pretty good.
It is what it is. Yeah.
So,
I left for a reason.
Well, that answers my next question, because another thing I read in your bio is you began performing in clubs in both Cleveland and Pittsburgh, and I was going to say, but where are you from? So Ohio, and I'm sorry, but I immediately think Browns fan growing up. Tough times.
Yeah. That's why I'm a comedian, and I'm not an adult. So yeah.
Well, all great comedy stems from trauma, so that's yours, I guess.
Yeah. If I'd have been a Steelers fan, I'd have been a well-adjusted person. But no, I was a Browns fan, and I dealt with a lot of trauma in middle school. So yeah, it was rough.
So was it actually around middle school? Did you start noticing, like, hey, I'm kind of funny. I kind of like getting people to laugh.
Yeah, probably. I mean, well, I know it was sixth grade. I was on my sixth grade basketball team, and I was at basketball practice, and I don't know what I can say, but I pooped my pants, and so that sort of became like the one thing that was sort of like the catalyst, like the first story that I would tell, and my friends would have me retell, and
right.
That's more trauma.
Well, the good thing about sixth graders is they would immediately forget the fact that one of their friends crapped himself at practice. I'm sure, it was never going to be mentioned again. So,
you 15 of my closest friends were there, and it was around eighth grade when they kept bringing it up again.
Sure,
when it became a funny story. So yeah.
So if we walked out right now, no warm ups onto a court, how many free throws out of 10 do you think you could hit?
Oh, let's see. If we could go win out right now, probably 6.
Hey, strong. Anything over 50% at this, at our advanced ages.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff.
It's better than Shaq, right? So yeah.
It's better than Shaq, and I bet you could do 6 out of 10 without crapping yourself.
You know what? I'm not going to make those kind of promises, all right? Because it is early in the morning. So
probably for the best. John Caparulo is with us on Gorman in the morning. Or were you a music fan as a kid? Do you like rock bands?
You know what? I did actually. The Black Crowes. The second concert I ever went to, Black Crowes.
Wow. Oh, nice.
Opened for Aerosmith. So yeah.
Oh wow, Cuyahoga Falls.
It was in. It was at Blossom Music Center.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember
outside of Cleveland. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because there was a different amphitheater that was on the Pittsburgh side, but yeah, Blossom. They opened for Aerosmith. and it was during their first album.
Right. John, I hate to say this, but I'm cursed with the kind of memory. I could tell you, I'm not going to, all about the fight we had backstage right after that gig.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah, I remember it very, very clearly, man. Those the salad days, we like to call them. See, you missed that.
Man.
Being a comedian, you didn't get to enjoy the fruits of being in a band where you suddenly overnight you want to murder all your best friends on a regular basis.
Well, you know what? I didn't get to have that exactly. I mean, I did tours with other comedians, and I mean, I know how that goes.
Sure.
All right. I mean, we were on a tour bus together. I remember once for 30 days, and we don't hang out much anymore. So yeah, it's, I know how it goes.
That's 27. That's 27 days more than necessary for sure.
Exactly.
Hey, John, I'm Paul Fletcher. Let's go back to the concert. You said that was the second show you ever saw. What was the first one?
The first one actually was I went to. It was also Aerosmith. My sister was a big Aerosmith fan, and so I tagged along. They actually Skid Row opened for them on that one.
Oh wow!
So I would like to say that my first one was the Black Crowes one, but I'd be lying. So yeah, it was Skid Row.
Well, at least you got your integrity.
Bringing up painful memories because John, I'll tell you, when we finished that tour with Aerosmith, we had been told by their crew, like, you know, Skid Row came out before you guys, and they did such a great job. They got some really nice gifts. The guys in Aerosmith bought them like farewell presents, and so we went into our last gig waiting. We got nothing.
Oh man!
We're like, oh wow, they like Skid Row more than us. Damn.
Yeah, but that's why there was a difference in the music, all right? I mean, because you guys were the legitimate angst and hate that you had. I mean, you know, it made it so, yeah, like, I mean, you didn't come with some, you know, I remember you. It was, you know, twice as hard. And She Talks to Angels. That's brilliant music. No matter how you want to slice it, what happened backstage. That's brilliant music that is timeless, so congratulations.
Legitimate angst and hate. That should have been the title of my book. What was I thinking?
Yeah, right?
John Caparulo is with us on Gorman in the Morning. You're at the Parkway Sunday night. I got to think you've done comedy in Minneapolis and before several times, I'm sure.
I have. Actually, I don't think I've ever been to Minneapolis when there's sun.
Oh, really?
I mean, so it's been like January, February, and so I'm actually happy to see if you guys actually like have grass.
Well, dude, I'm sorry to say it's going to be cloudy on Sunday. You're missing the greatest week and a half of weather we've ever had. It ends tonight, so don't worry. It'll be that familiar old Minneapolis when you get here.
All right, yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up in gray, so I mean, it's not like I'm not used to it.
It's going to be gray in 61, though. I mean, 61 is a pretty solid degree, if you ask.
Oh, that's fantastic, especially when you're as fat as I am. So yeah, that's perfect.
You and me both, my man. I like anything below 70 for sure. Hey, I noticed that you worked at a golf course in Los Angeles.
I did.
What did you do exactly? How long were you there? Did you like it? Like, what's the bit on the golf course?
Well, I worked at a few different golf courses, but because, I mean, you know, especially as a comedian, I mean, you want to have a day job during the day, so you have your nights that you can go perform. And, yeah, my last day job was at the Encino Golf Course, and, you know, I remember, like, you know, it was one of those jobs that was like, it was a city, it was a municipal job, and they wanted you to take it seriously, but I'm like, dude, I mean, I don't need to show up for a meeting. I mean, we cut rings around trees. I mean, there's nothing to talk about. But I mean, my favorite part of that was like I got like to tag along with the guy catching gophers, and that's like going fishing every day on land. And we'd flood them out of there, and they come out all wet and mad, and it was and the only thing was they wanted us to kill them, and I'm like, dude, I'll let them loose on another golf course, but I'm not going to kill them. And
you guys are like, nah, man, we'll take these over to Balboa. Screw those guys.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it was right next door.
That's hilarious.
But we ended up finding there was a hawk that lived between the 10th and 1st fairway. We basically domesticated that hawk, and we'd catch a gopher. We put it out in the middle of the fairway. Hawk would swoop down and get him. It was great.
Man.
So one day we caught one that was too big, and it was like the hawk tried to take off with it. And remember in Jaws 2 when the shark ate the helicopter?
Yeah, very much, of course.
Oh, no. like if the gopher wins this fight, I'm not coming back to work. But, yeah, it was fun. It was a fun way to pass time. So I became an actual real comedian. So,
hey,
yeah.
I got to tell you, John, I've played a bunch of those public courses in L.A. I saw the one time I ever saw him at the Encino Golf Course post trial. Obviously, when the country clubs didn't want him, I saw O.J. Simpson there once.
Yeah. I people would tell me he would come to that. I never actually saw him there.
Yeah.
I did see Jim Brown. And that was one of those ones where it was like there's just a presence with that guy. I'm like, man,
sure.
I'd hate to be put in a foursome with Jim Brown. Like, it's like, like if I walked over his line, I'm gonna get blindsided with a shoulder or something.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, he was like 65 at the time too. But yeah,
be honest, he had an ugly swing though, didn't he? Be honest, he had an ugly swing.
Really?
Didn't he? No.
Wait, who had an ugly swing?
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown?
Yeah.
I didn't. You know what? I never saw his swing. I saw his dashiki, and I went the other way.
Listen, you can't ask a kid from East Liverpool to say anything derogatory about Jim Brown.
True.
Okay, that's sacrosanct.
No, you can't, man. I mean, why would you? Yeah.
I stepped out of bounds right there, unlike Jim Brown ever did.
I'm assuming for all of this work with the Gophers, the Kenny Loggins tune, I'm All Right's just blasting through the back of your mind at all times.
I mean, of course it is. Why? Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't it be? But yeah, it was. It was that and the Black Crowes, brother. That and the Black Crowes.
Hey, wow. I'll take it. I'll take it. Sunday night at the Parkway, this Sunday, May 18th, John Caparulo. You can go to johncaparulo.com for more details. There are a few tickets still remaining. So how long are you going to be in town? Are you flying in, doing the gig and out, or are you going to hang around? What's happening this weekend?
I think it's just a one-day in and out because I'm going to Albuquerque a couple nights before that. And then, of course, if you go to Albuquerque, the next logical stop is Minneapolis.
That was my thought. I'm looking at the dates now. Albuquerque, then Minneapolis, then Tierra del Fuego on the southern tip of Argentina. Interesting routing, to be sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, then Guam. Yeah,
that's it. No, hey, listen, man, just collect those points, brother. Sit up front. That's great.
That's all I can do, right?
All right, John Caparulo, you got one album you're going to take away forever. Hey, it's such a cliche thing, and don't say anything by the Black Crowes, even if it's true. You got one record to listen to. What is it?
One record to listen to. You know what? It's got to be Death Certificate by Ice Cube.
Nice. Wow. Hell yeah. Good
Lord. I mean, that was one like when Biggie Smalls said, "I let the tape rock till the tape pop." That one, I actually had a tape that I wore out, that I had to buy the CD because of the tape wore out. So yeah.
I like that. Coming in. All right, and last question, brother. You got one team in any sport. Who's your favorite team?
One team in any sport? Are we talking any era? Or
any era. Like who? I mean, is it the Browns? Is it the Cavs? Is it somebody complete? Is it Kent State? Who you going for?
Oh man, it's tough. I mean, because part of me wants to say the 2007 Patriots but they didn't win. So I gotta go with the. I'd say 92, but come on, it's the 96 Bulls. 95-96 Bulls.
There you go.
So, there it is.
You can tell he's a Cleveland sports fan. He's thinking about the Bulls and the Patriots.
Absolutely, yeah. No, absolutely. I was never a Cavs fan, trust me. I learned the lesson from the Browns. No,
John Caparulo, Sunday night at Parkway. Have a great time. It's a pleasure to talk with you, man. Thanks for calling in.
Great talking to you guys. Thanks so much.
See you.
Thank you.
That's a good dude right there.
Yeah,
I can't believe he actually got to work on a golf course taking care of the gopher problem.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You're Bill Murray in Caddyshack.
I mean, that's me at 15. That's the dream job of all dream jobs.
Would you have had the foresight to train the hawk?
No.
That was like a real smooth move, so he didn't have to kill the gophers himself.
Baller move.
Yeah.
That is an elite golf course management.
Yeah, a domesticated red-tailed hawk is not the average, not something you expect to hear on a morning radio show. We've got some headlines to get to. We're feeling Minnesota. Hang tight.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
All right, it is Thursday morning. It is 9 a.m. straight up almost. And it's time to feel Minnesota. We need some headlines, Paul Fletcher.
We are beginning day 5 of the wildfires in northern Minnesota. The damage has almost doubled since yesterday. 37,000 acres burned with 0% containment as of the second. Rain is possible. It's hitting Alexandria, I've been told. Hopefully it'll continue and move its way north and east and maybe do a little damage over the areas that are stricken by fire.
Let's hope.
Yep, absolutely. Parking on some streets in Falcon Heights during the Minnesota State Fair, not going to be free this year. On Wednesday, the city council unanimously approved a new contract with Park Mobile, a parking management company, to begin charging a daily parking fee of $25 during the 12 days of the State Fair. Here are a couple of Falcon Heights residents sharing their thoughts.
Everyone in my household is pretty upset about the whole thing. First off, it kind of feels like a way for an outside company to make money off of like publicly available works.
Doesn't bother me too much. It's a creative solution. People are going to complain either way.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you're allowed to have that opinion for sure. I guess we'll see how it goes. So a year-to-year thing. So they could renew or they could just try it this year and then maybe it goes away.
Right.
I think you get one pass per household, like one free pass for parking.
Because that's one of the concerns that came in a text is like people are up in arms because they want to charge for parking in their yard. And now they've got to keep their vehicle. But no, they can actually get at least one. And you can actually get up to 4 depending on your household income, et cetera, et cetera. So you still could make money with your yard as well. So
you should be biking to the fair and walking off those deep fried cheese curds.
Is that where you're going? Cheese curds?
Yes.
Corn roast, baby. Oh, my God. Give me that corn roast.
But that corn roast is not super fatty.
No.
Yeah, lots of sugar, though.
Okay.
Yeah, tons of sugar. And guess what sugar turns into? Fat.
All right.
The creators of Spinal Tap have announced a new behind-the-scenes book, a fine line between stupid and clever. It's the most Spinal Tap title ever for a book. Written by Rob Reiner, Christopher Guest, Mike McKeon, and Harry Scherer, is set to be released on September 9th. The book will feature first-hand stories about the creation of the 84 film and its iconic one-liners, as well as real-life Spinal Tap moments from rock stars like Slash, etc. A fictional half of the book is included as well, dubbed as a B-side, will be written as Spinal Tap's band members recounting their life in the band to director Marty DeBerge.
Nice.
Sounds like a good read.
There's a reason that movie holds up after 40 years, and that's because it's real. You can say it's a mockumentary. That's real life on the road for bands. Let me tell you.
Who was it? Like Aerosmith went and saw it and didn't realize it was
Steven
supposed
Tyler.
to be funny?
Steven Tyler said the first time he saw it in the theater, and he was like, "What's everyone laughing at?" He really didn't get it.
It's funny.
Yeah.
That in and of itself is funny.
Yeah.
NBC has greenlit a series order to a comedy starring Tracy Morgan and Daniel Radcliffe. The series is currently titled The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins. I don't know why that makes me laugh, but I like that name, Reggie Dinkins, because it also sounds like it could be a football player, which is the official log line of the show. A disgraced former football player played by Tracy Morgan is on a mission to rehabilitate his image.
Okay.
You got Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter.
Sure.
And Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
Doing a football thing, and you've got the 30 Rock team behind the scenes. Apparently, it's got a bit of a 30 Rock reunion. Tina Fey is involved, expected to premiere this fall. I mean, I don't know. Sounds kind of promising.
Rock solid.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about sports, shall we? The Minnesota Timberwolves wore down the Golden State Warriors. Make no mistake about it. Now, Golden State, much better defensively than the Lakers in the series before, but the Wolves have a whole lot of people who, when you least expect it, will turn up and just start to put the ball in the basket. A really nice effort last night. Dante DiVincenzo back out of a slump with 13 points. Mike Conley, 16 points. Rudy Gobert, 17 points. What is happening? Cats and dogs living together. Not to mention the fact that the Ant went for 22 and Julius Randle, the star of the night, 29 points on 13 of 18 shooting.
Star of the series, right?
Badass mofo, Julius Randle's turning it all up.
Holy moly.
After the game, was asked about how excited he is to have dispatched the Golden State Warriors.
Trip to the Western Conference Finals. How you feeling?
Feel great. Did what we supposed to do. Took care of business on our home court. Got win number 8. Looking for number 9 now.
Did what we were supposed to do. It's just win number 8, looking for number 9.
Mm-hmm.
They are 8 wins away from a title, and they're staying very focused on that task.
Man.
Doesn't sound like they're too up with the up. It's just on to the next.
Pretty great. I hung in there late. At one point, they were up in the third quarter by 25. There was no question where this game was going. The final score, not nearly as close as the game itself had been. A dominant performance. Steve Kerr, credit to Kerr, Warriors coach, afterwards, when he was asked, do you think you would have won this series if Steph had been here? He said, I don't want to talk about Steph because I don't want in any shape or form to take anything away from what Minnesota just accomplished. Nice job there, Steve Kerr.
He's a class act for sure. Always has been.
Last night at the X, the Minnesota Frost went ahead and booked their ticket to the finals again for the second straight year in year 2 of the Women's Hockey League. They will be in the finals. A 2-0, down 2-0, I should say, in the game. They came back to score 3, including this one in overtime.
Taylor Heisey with the shot. She scores! Minnesota Magic in overtime. The reigning Walter Cup champions are heading back to the PWHL finals.
All right.
Taylor Heisey out of Lake City.
That's all they do is win. And here's the thing, like in the Wolves series, you're talking about OKC and Denver being a long series, etc. Well, the other series in the PWHL, you got Ottawa and Montreal. Montreal's the favorite. Ottawa's up 2-1, and game 2 was a 4-overtime marathon. Wow. So those ladies are wearing each other out. It's all coming up purple right now for the Frost.
Like to see that. The Minnesota Twins, that's a baseball team you may be familiar with, have won 10 straight games.
Come on now.
Including a doubleheader in Baltimore yesterday. 8th inning of game 2. Down on the scoreboard, Cody Clemens steps into the bat.
Clemens is swinging a high fly ball into right field and deep. This one back towards the wall. It is gone. A home run. Cody Clemens does it again. And the Twins take the lead here in the 8th inning.
Very, very nice. For the second season in a row, the Minnesota Twins have been sitting below 500 and reeled off a double-digit win streak of at least 10 games. They're the first team in the history of baseball to do that, to be like sitting there below 500 and then suddenly win 10 straight. And this is the second year in a row they've done it. Granted, it's May 15th, not September 15th, which is when you really want that 10-game winning streak to happen. But check this out. This team is 23-20. And if you had told us that 2 weeks ago, we would have laughed at you.
Yeah, rolled my eyes.
Yeah, that's
absolutely
not going to happen.
Exhilarating to see the Twins turn it on like this. Finally, the Vikings schedule came out, and the answer to the question, what do you get for going 14-3? You get a really tough schedule. They open at home against the Bears, who are a rapidly improving team. We saw that through the course of last season, and now with a whole new coaching staff. Ryder's former offensive coordinator from Detroit.
The BJ situation.
What's his name?
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson, of course. How silly. Taking over the Bears. And the Bears had a nice draft as well. So check this out as we've talked about this. So they open with the Bears. They'll be favored, and they should get a home win.
But in Chicago on Monday night.
But then again, this is J.J. McCarthy. Who we're going to see for the first time.
He's going to be
starting under center. They go to Europe for 2 in a row, weeks 4 and 5. Then they have the bye, and then they come home to host the Eagles, go to L.A. to play the Chargers. Then they go to Detroit. Then they're back at home to host the Ravens. This is a gauntlet from start to finish.
Yeah.
But that particular stretch, the first 8 weeks of the season, if we're 4-4, it's going to be like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Seriously. Very, very difficult.
But who knows? You get that surrounding cast. If JJ's what they think,
Did either of you see the schedule release video for the Vikings?
I did not watch it.
People got real tattoos.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice.
I was super impressed with this because the Lions one was a freaking snoozer.
A dud?
The Vikings, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. Like they got like a lion tattooed on for the week that they're playing the Lions. Permanent tattoos.
Right on.
They're trying to be extra hard this season.
Skull brother. Yeah. Right on.
It's insane how the NFL can turn nothing into a annual event.
Sure.
It's a schedule release.
By the way,
unreal, man.
By the way, the reason we can't say Skull Brother, if you remember the Skull chewing tobacco ads with Earl Campbell, where he would say Skull Brother, SKOAL.
Yes.
I'm like, where did that come from? That's how my brain works. I go right back to 1979 Houston Oilers, Earl Campbell and Skull.
Some good old, I think they called it snooze back then.
I need a nap. That's what that means. Anoka, glad to have you with us this morning, Anoka, Minnesota.
Oh, the Halloween capital of the world.
Halloween capital of the world, or as I call it, the social district capital of the world. We had a great drink up there last summer.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Man, that was fun.
Dude, the wings at Serums, let's go.
I'll take your word for it. I was in Serums.
They were too busy for us to even get a food order.
Yeah, I was going to say, by the time we left, I was like, I didn't know they had food here. I just had 11 beers. Go figure. Gorman in the Morning with Fletcher and Ryder on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. KQ's bestest poll wraps up tomorrow. Voting concludes tomorrow. So if you go to 92KQRS.com, you can vote for a whole host of items here. Bestest, we got all kinds of things.
Some of them are already runaways, like bestest team that's just going to break your heart. Vikings are dominating that one.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
There are some close ones still left.
We've got a few that are running neck and neck. Bestest athlete you'd want to grab a beer with. Apparently that one's coming down to the wire. You can vote for Torrey Hunter, Joe Mauer, Naz Reid, Lindsey Whalen, or Marc-Andre Fleury.
Deflauer.
Sorry?
Deflauer.
Oh, that's it.
I was trying to do France.
Well, he's Quebecois. It's a whole different thing.
Oh, well, fair.
It's just like they get a little more. They try a little too hard with that French accent to shove it down your throat.
I'm not even.
And I was there, and I do the butterfly save, and then he looked at me. It's like, dude, just speak. Stop. Relax. We know you speak French.
It's like, you know what? The one that's bothering me, I'm getting actually hot under the collars. Bestest wings. Serums isn't winning.
No.
What is happening?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Serums and Anoka. Have you ever had their wings?
All right. Listen, well, go vote then.
I did.
Vote again.
We'll get into it in a little bit.
Click.
Unlimited voting. Best athlete you want to grab a beer with, I should say, is right now we're tied. There's a tie. Be the tiebreaker. Go to 92KQRS.com. Vote and then vote again. And then right before you log off, vote again.
Do it.
You have until tomorrow.
Noon tomorrow
to vote and vote again. If at first you don't vote, try. You know what I'm saying? Vote as often as you like. Get after it.
I just voted in every single category, and it took me about 90 seconds.
I mentioned that the athlete you want to grab a beer with right now, Joe Mauer and Fleury, just in a dead heat atop that poll.
Wow.
They are.
Get on it.
I am
Serums.
such a Sophie's choice with those. They'd both be a blast.
It really would be. It really would be a blast. Both. Let's see what else we got. Wings. Serums is behind the 5'8" club.
I'd say the biggest upset of the poll right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Not right.
How about best place for karaoke? Casper's and Egan is tied with the Vegas Lounge in Northeast. Okay. All right. We need tiebreakers, people. We need you to get in there and vote.
If you ever hear Jordan on the weekends, he does he hosts some karaoke at the Vegas Lounge and says that's the whole reason that he's married. So it holds a special place in his heart.
Wow, really?
Because he met his wife during karaoke.
Married by
enough.
karaoke.
Yes.
Do we have a tally on the bestest trash talker? I know I'm throwing you a curveball, but I'm curious.
Let me see if
You
I
got
can...
Randy Moss in there, Kevin Garnett, Anthony Edwards, Jules Eriksson Ek from the Wild, and John Randall. Of course, I'm the hockey guy, of course. But the thing about Eriksson Ek is if you watch him, he doesn't even talk. He just has this stare.
Yeah.
He's got this like googly-eyed look at guys that's it's like almost impenetrable. It's hilarious.
A trash talker, Ant-Man is in the lead right now,
There you go.
followed
Bring your
very
ass,
closely by Randy Moss.
Is Ek in last?
Eriksson Ek is
Dead last.
Yeah, dead last.
Yeah, the impenetrable stare doesn't really jump out in the imagination of the average fan.
But that one's real tight, too. Anthony Edwards, 31%.
All right.
Randy Moss at 30%. So if you want your straight cash, homie, vote now.
What?
Well, that and the fake moon. I'll never forget the fake moon.
One more tie to mention. Outdoor music venue, Minnesota State Fair Grandstand, is tied with the Treasure Island Amphitheater.
What?
Come on, 92 KQRS. Get in there and vote.
Grandstand?
Pearl Jam time. All right, don't think, blink. Answer the question. The best Pearl Jam gig you ever saw?
That's actually really, really easy. Pearl Jam 20. No, sorry. That one got eclipsed.
Wasn't as easy as you thought.
Yeah.
That's how I just stumbled. I was in my old, the first show they did at Wrigley Field.
I never
it was
would
either
have never thought of
2013 or
that.
2014. Say that again?
I would have never thought of that.
Okay,
yeah,
so
their first gig at Wrigley. And partly it was the set list was amazing.
Okay.
Eddie grew up a Cubs fan.
Right, of course.
And so getting to play Wrigley Field was the most important to him of everybody in the room.
Got it.
That was the most important to him. We had a massive rain delay, 2.5 hour delay. He said, "I promise we're going to be back out." The urban legend is that he was backstage paying off the mayor of Wrigleyville to lift the sound ordinance. He's like, "What do I have to what do I have to donate?"
All right. I like it. Now the follow-up.
Okay.
And don't pull punches and don't try to be a nice guy. Worst Pearl Jam gig you ever saw?
Oof.
There had to be one where you were like, they don't have it tonight.
You know what? So a lot of times when they play here, I feel like the set lists are really boring. I mean, they play a lot more hits here than they do in other spots. I've seen them at the Forum. I've seen them in Kansas City. I've seen them at Alpine Valley. I've seen them at Madison Square Garden. Okay,
you're giving me the op-ed. I'm looking for the headline. Worst gig ever by Pearl Jam. Where and when?
2014.
He's so uncomfortable. So you're just squirting.
No, I'm trying to recall.
The idea that you have to say it was a bad night.
Oh, God, I would say, dude,
killing him.
If it was terrible, I would say in a heartbeat.
What's that?
Like Eddie Vedder's listening to this podcast.
He is. He's on speakerphone right here.
Yeah. You know what, though? I wouldn't pull a punch if but they rarely miss, man.
All right. Really okay. Here we go. All right.
They rarely miss. Have you seen a bad REM show?
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, well.
Yeah, Pete Buck was hammered. 1986 Life's First Pageant. I was so upset. Yeah, it was like I went to church and the priest kicked me in the nuts. It was really, really bad. All right. This has been a fun show today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. What are we on, 31?
31.
We are on 30. I'm kind of spent. I don't know if we can do another one tomorrow.
30 wonderful flavors.
Yeah.
And we got through them all right there.
Well, we have to, though. So let's just show up and do 32, huh?
Very, very quickly.
Well, there's lots of cool stuff tomorrow, too.
There is a lot of cool stuff tomorrow. Let's see. Oh, gosh. AMA Friday, Ask Me Anything, with Chef Gavin Kaysen.
Yes, I love this.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to get into how he got into food, like as a career.
Very
I can't
good.
wait to get into that.
That'll be kind of cool. We're going to have another Twin Cities Civil War giving away yet more Farm Aid tickets.
Last call.
That's pretty exciting. Your last word for today's show, courtesy of your friend Confucius. If you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Words to live by. I've said that for years. Man, when I think I'm the smartest guy in the room, I get a new room because we're in trouble. What's happening next, Fletcher?
We're going to go commercial-free right around 11:45, 1:30-ish. I got tickets for Wallflowers and ZZ Top, so, there you go.
Right on, right on. We'll be back tomorrow morning, bright and early on Minnesota's 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning is also Gorman on the go. Get the 92 KQRS app and stream live or catch the Gorman in the morning podcast anytime. 92 KQRS.